think it's sweet. I stay with the heat even though I'm a sad boy. You better watch the way you breathe around me for that breath be your last boy. I've been drinking red reds, boy. I been chopping down these birds, McCoy. No, I bet my rich in really 9 months. Overseas, kind of scheme.
Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. It's your boy Principal this year with another video, another wonderful part. And the funny thing about this shit is, right, I've had to redo this. Let's call this the 5th time I tried to record this video. Not because I didn't have time, I'm perfectly fine. I just hate this mic and had to do a lot just to make it work, including a few seconds ago when I restarted this and I left the music on the actual fucking video on, so it was disrupting my voice. I suck at this, I know. Regardless, I am here, and I hope you all enjoy this. I hope you all like and enjoy the gameplay of Kimetsu no Yaiba's game that I have in the background. Y'all can have a little something. I played it. It's not that bad. It's pretty good, but it's just good. That's all I can say about it. It's not horrible. The animation still looks awesome, and the graphics are pretty good. But yeah, I hope you will enjoy. Asta will continue to get more OP because I do not make my characters OP. It's just in my nature. Don't forget to like and subscribe. If you are subscribed, thank you. If you're not, subscribe. Come on, man. I know you watch, but you gotta give me some support. Alright, and yeah, let's go. Let's begin with the recap. So, the last part began with the battle against Mars, where Asta unleashes part of his full power. However, this causes an argument between him and Yuno, who says he doesn't take him seriously enough and constantly holds back. This leads to Asta having to take a step back and learn to let go better. He and Yuno earn spirits, with Asta being of course much more complex, thus he has a much more complex spirit, and Klaus even apologizes for treating them so horribly. And the next day they go to the capital, meeting Julius, and the attack on the Clover Kingdom is then brought to them, of course, a siege. Asta, after seeing Noel harassed moments before, had learned to release more of his magic in a much more masterful way without being afraid of it, so this allowed him to use spirit magic to stop the catastrophe, and later on he even faces Lake, even if only for a little while, when he goes after Valtos, because of course, well, he had teleported away Fuegoleon and they didn't know what happened to him. So he and Julius meet at the cave after Licht escapes, and then they return with the captured henchmen and learn of Fuegoleon's demise. Luckily, he still lives. Asta is promoted, as is Charmy, and Yuno is of course implied to be, because he's Yuno, and when he returns home, Fernando would take him out to a mixer where he meets Rebecca. They then go to her house, he plays with their siblings, and Ghost would show up, and we all know how that goes. As night falls and Asta sleeps over at Rebecca's place, he wakes up and he and everyone find the kids around are gone, so he goes on ahead to get them back. There he first saves Marco, who was just thrown out to the cold, leaving Liebe there to watch him as he heads into the cave. He saves a child from being sucked dry of her magic, killing Baro in the process, and being unable to kill the pitiable, pathetic Neige. Asta! As he's called out to, Asta would turn to see Marie, who runs to and hugs him as she thanks him for coming, nearly crying, and Asta would pat her on the head saying, "You were very brave, good job." He would then take a look at the kids and hold his hand out as he creates the same halo of fire that forms above them, beginning to absorb the magic, controlling them, giving Liebe a boost while he's outside. I haven't been, well, me for long, but isn't this ridiculous? We aren't even anywhere near each other, thought the spirit. Marie, hey you. Ghost would arrive on his broom, accompanied by Teresa, who lands quickly to the ground and going to Marco and talking to him, noticing Asta's garments on him, as Ghost would then take a look at the cave and he feels it, saying, "This mana, it's him." He then flew into the cave and Liebe tells Teresa he's gotta go now and flies past Ghost, who clicks his tongue, wanting to just see his sister already. Once both he and Liebe arrive, they see the kids gather near Asta, bawling their eyes out and asking for their parents, but Ghost only took notice of Marie, who upon seeing him runs to him and he holds her tight. "See, it all worked out, right?" said Asta. "Whatever," said the brother. Just then Teresa arrives as well, with the kids quickly going to her, feeling even more safe now that she was here, of course, because she's the resident, grandma, I guess, like, of the fucking area. And she apologizes that she lost sight of them, and Asta watches them going on happy when Teresa then looks at him saying, "Sister Lily must be so proud." Asta is surprised to hear this, but as he goes to ask about how they know each other, Ghosh asks for Asta's attention as he has his foot on Neish's face, asking if this guy is involved with all of this, and Asta nods. Instantly, he kicks the villain across the face and readies a blast as he tumbles across the ground. "No, stop," yells Marie. "Didn't even get to do anything." "That's the point. I'm eliminating him before he gets another chance." "She's right, stop. We need to get these kids back," said Teresa. "I can't believe you would even do this. Children? These kids are the hope of the Clover Kingdom. Why would you do this?" I just wanted friends. What do I do, Baro? Help me." As he looks to his brother's dead corpse, he begins to cry his eyes out, and Teresa understands why Asta couldn't hurt this man, as he seems to be quite broken. Amidst this drama, however, forms a portal out of which falls Sally, who everyone notices the presence of, with Ghosh turning and firing a mirror ray instantly. However, summoning Sticky Salamander, she has her summon Absorb and shoot back the attack that Ghosh sidesteps as it pierces the ground beneath him. "Asta, I'm so glad I got to meet you again." As she lands, she then notices Neish calling away, and then, the broken machine, of course, and realizes this is quite literally the worst position to be in. "I guess all I can do is just fight then." As she yells this, her Sticky Salamander releases incredibly quick tendrils that go to grab Ghosh as he jumps back, avoiding them, being cognizant that his attacks can't hurt her. But past him ran Asta, as those tendrils are shredded, peeling them back before they burn, and he disappears in the blur, spinning and appearing before Sally, whose heart skips a beat as he palm strikes her. Sun magic. Heat rays. She slams into a wall, ripping through her gel summon that explodes as she slides down, smoking at the mouth, being essentially given massive heartburn, but she'll live. He then turns to look at Neige, with Asta saying, "I'll personally keep you alive since you haven't taken responsibility for this yet. I can't let you die." Neige would timidly nod as Teresa thinks of how much prowess he has, not even needing to use his spirit's power yet. Just then, however, a blinding light takes stage. Every single cell in Asta's body spikes, telling him one thing: use everything you have. Everyone is blinded, covering their eyes, with them getting in their defensive stance using their magic, and Ghosh instantly took to protecting his sister, of course, and Teresa, the other kids. But when this massive light fades, they're left horrified, with Asta having taken a knee as Lick falls from the portal. "Asta!" His body riddled with light spears, Asta with gasping breath stands and get in a fighting stance regardless, as Veltos falls through the portal as well, being unnerved to see this kid again, who has feisty eyes despite facing his master. "Asta, I'm sorry," says Liebe. "It's fine. We can heal this." He grunts, activating his healing magic with the halo forming above his head. The light spears would shatter inside him, but he says, "This man, he was not taking me seriously before." "This dense mana, is he even human?" thought Teresa as she looked to Licht, and Asta would yell, "All of you go, I'll handle this." Ghosh, without a second thought, takes off, with Marie yelling for Asta as Teresa finds herself in a tough spot, but Asta, without turning, would say to go. "It's okay. Do what you must." "I am the leader of the Eye of the Midnight Sun," said Licht. As he says his name, he goes to pick up Sally, starting to heal her, as more light spears then form beside him. And as the kids and Teresa clear the room, Asta notices that he's crying for Sally, who, as she regains consciousness, sees her master's face, and he says to her, "You must have suffered so much." When she said she was heading to the lab, "I should have taken more precaution. I'm sorry," said Valdos. As they talk, Asta notices Neige, who is still here, and Asta asks why he is, but Neige says that he needs to take responsibility for what he has done. "Well, you chose a good time to be a hero, didn't you?" yells Liebe. Finally handing off Sally to Valdos, Lick now stares down Asta, who feels the tension rise, and he breathes in just as he pulls back his leg, barely avoiding a light spear, and he disappears, appearing beside him with his flaming blade forming, and he strikes, but a light barrier forms blocking this. "Get out of here!" As he yells this, he is hit in the stomach by a light beam and crashes into a wall, but quickly leaps back at Licht, summoning multiple blades that Licht has to dodge, disappearing as he creates a blade, swinging it down as Asta appears before him, and Lee would activate his magic, allowing Asta to begin absorbing his light blade while they still are in contact. This catches him off guard, allowing Asta to swing his blade as he sways back, barely avoiding his sword and getting a cut on his nose, which is quickly healed. But Asta would swing again and again, with Lick blocking each swing, but they just get stronger and stronger as his magic is absorbed more and more. "What is this feeling?" he thought. "I don't sense any ill will at all. Asta's hyper-focused state was the only thing that was currently keeping him from meeting his death, and due to this is when he increased his affinity with Libe, who felt it. Just as he is not backed by the mage, he would, of course, output a little bit more of his mana, realizing that Asta is getting a little dangerous. But this time, he actually catches himself, already healing as he lands. "Look, I think we might be able to use that spell now," said Libe. "Wait, really?" As Libe nods, Asta grows a grin as Lick would ask what he's smiling at. "This isn't a fight, it is your execution." A light whip is created, floating and surrounding Lick as he would swing it, and it travels as if it were alive, nearly hitting Asta, who blocks it, yelling, "Do it!" Part of the whip is then entirely deteriorated as Lick would say, "You have a particular magic type, but I guess it's to be expected from another 4-leaf. I'll admit it, they're not bad, but you were done the moment my comrade was hurt. Then come make me pay then." As he holds his chest wide out with his arms to the air, Libe flies and plunges into his chest as he begins to glow, and Lick realizes what he's doing, finding it impossible to believe as he swings, and his whip will create a bunch of cracks, and another whip is created. But just as both are about to hit Asta, his magic is unraveled instantly as a heat wave knocks him back, just as a vacuum centers on Asta, who is then shown in a new form. "The highest level of bond with the spirit," said Licht, "and a mere human. How can you be so loved by mana?" The vacuum is then broken, with part of Asta's hair seeming to have transformed into flames themselves, his left eye bright red, and he has a red mark across his face that has made a mask on his skin. This mark spread across his entire left side, actually, like armor, and along with that was a fiery aura enveloping his arm, which, at his arm, by the way, was his first blade he ever made, but it was more detailed, pristine, and the amount of mana gathering around it was insane, to the point where it left even the elf shocked. "How could you be that loved by mana? You cannot be human." As he breathes, Asta holds his blade with both hands, and that piercing sound is once heard again as he steps forward and blitzes Licht, who he appears behind, and his chest explodes with a fountain of blood as Valtos and Sally now stare down an even bigger monster than before. As it begins to sway forward, however, Licht would turn, firing a spear of light, which is burnt to nothing upon making contact with Asta's mere skin before he swings down, and Licht's wound is opened wider as he struck. "Master, no! The same exact place. He's hitting me right where I was hit before," thought Licht. Nej would only watch at this point, mesmerized, when Asta then actually turns to him, and one look was enough for him to get the memo, and he runs off. But as he heals himself, Licht readies a hand out to fire a spear. When Asta's sword is then placed right at his wrist, he pushes down ever so slightly, cleanly cutting it off so well, the elf feels no pain. At the same time, in that exact moment, Yami would exit into the cave using one of Finral's portals, and it would close behind, and he sets his eyes on this scene, and he lands saying, "Damn, kid." God! But the shout Lick would begin to explode with malicious mana as the pain now sunk in, and a third eye forms on his forehead. "Impossible. No way." Readying his katana, Asta is about to block this attack that Lick is about to, of course, fire, and the elf would put distance between them, jumping back and firing a massive beam whose light would envelop the entire cave. "Can you take care of that?" asked Yami. "Easily. I'll have to beat that attitude out of you later. Just take care of this." "Be erased from my sight. Judgment Ray." Raising his blade at this point, though, Asta is about to swing when a mirror appears right before him, getting hit and reflecting the attack back at Licht, who is wide-eyed as he's enveloped by his own attack, which rips through the ceiling of the cave. And moving quickly, Yami then blitzes Valtos and Sally, knocking them out with the blunt side of his katana to both their stomach before resheathing his sword. He would then turn to see Ghosh, brought in by Finral's magic, with Finral not being here himself, and his, of course, Ghosh's mirror eye was bare. "Man, all of you want to surpass your limits today, huh? It's kind of annoying me." "Ghosh-senpai," said Asta, "don't get this twisted. If you died, Marie would have cried. You're not going to hurt Marie while I'm still here." As he begins to chuckle, Asta would say that he knows that attack couldn't have hurt him, and Ghosh would say to shut up and accept Marie's goodwill. Alright, whatever you say." Speaking of attacks, what's going on with you, Asta?" asked Finral. "It's the form of me and Libe's bond. Spirit dive. I think I'll name it Soul Invictus." Libe then exits his chest at that point, with Asta losing his form, and they would fist bump. and slowly the body of Licht is made out, with him now lying on the ground, bruised, still regenerating, though very slowly. "You got me. Lucky for you, your safety can't be risked," said Licht as he looked right at Ghost, confusing Yami, who asked if he knew him. "Hell no." "Someday you'll understand," he said as he laid his head back down, truly having no strength left, honestly. And Yami approaches him, flipping through his grimoire to find a spell that could bind him. But then he senses new magic signatures, and he looks far forward, and he sees 3 people arrive, landing on a mound of rubble, when one of the figures instantly appears before Yami, touching his grimoire. Right then, Yami would swing at him, and the man barely dodges back, getting a cut on his shoulder. "Oh, what the hell, man? That hurts. What's wrong with you?" As he says this, Raya would then use Licht's healing magic to close up his wound, surprising everyone as they get on guard. "You can use light magic too?" asked Finral. One of the figures begins to start healing Licht with fire magic, and the other steps up, assuming his dominance with his gigantic stature. "I'm sorry you had to intervene," said Licht. "You idiot, that's because you're trying to shoulder everything by yourself," said Raya. "You think you can do that to my comrade and get away with it?" said Veto. "I'll crush you." "Are you in too much pain? How much have they hurt you?" "Don't worry, I'll get them," said Fauna. As they raise their mana, Asta and Yami get ready as Raya releases a dark slash, copying Yami, who counters with another, and this cancels them out. And at this point, blitzing Asta up front, Veto covers his fist with the aura of a bull as he strikes down at the boy, who catches the attack with his flaming blade before letting the fist slide down as he swings at Veto's neck, but he manages to sway back and dodges, sliding forward at this point using the momentum of him trying to run up earlier, and he would go past Asta, doing a kick up and swinging a powerful back kick at Asta, who releases a flaming dragon as he twists to meet him. What the? His foot is then crushed and ripped off by the dragon, before Asta would then kick him to the sky and lunges after him. Sun magic, sunflower thrust. He thrusts at Veto, who blocks with his arms, but they're blown away with a heat wave, sending him crashing into the ceiling. And as Veto begins to fall, he thinks, "How the hell can he predict my movements so easily? The mana, it's like it's telling him?" Asta, however, then sees a bright flash from behind and turns to see a massive fireball coming his way. "You got that?" yells Yami as he runs for Raya, clashing and pushing him back, and Asta would smile as he and Liebe would yell, "Right here, right now. We're gonna surpass our limits." His piercing breath is activated as he kicks, creating a foothold of magic, and they both scream, spearing this attack as it instantly disappears from existence. "What?" yells Raya. Veto, now trying to get up from his fall, said, "I was right. He can erase our mana." "No, he burns it away completely," says Licht. "Unforgivable," said Fauna. As he lands, Asta would put his sword back up and crack a huge grin as he keeps his senses focused on Veto behind him and Fauna in front of him. "She can use spirit magic as well, and he's just monstrous," Asta thought. "I got lucky. We can go spirit dive again, Liebe said. "Really? Well, remember all that mana we gathered at the fight during the capital assault?" As Asta realizes what he means, he says, "So that's how it works." Yami, meanwhile, is pushed back, with Raya now attacking his men after figuring out that he's too strong to fight one-on-one, so he forces Yami to protect Gosh and Fernal as they tell him to stop doing so because he's of course going to get hurt. "Shut up. Just wait and watch. You already done your part. Now I gotta surpass my limits." Meanwhile, Asta holds his arm out as Licht would yell, "Don't let him use it!" Instantly and instinctively, the others realize what he means, and they all blitz him instead. "No, Asta! Dodge!" Appearing before him and firing attacks, they plan to eliminate him before he can use his final form, when all sorts of different magical attacks, well, 3 special types specifically, are released from nowhere, countering them, and as the dust clears, Jack, Charlotte, and Nozel have arrived. "This is pretty interesting. You're hogging this all to yourself, you brat," said Jack. "That's not fair. After all that bravado, you still end up like this," said Nozel. "What is that supposed to mean?" Asta said, as Libby then plunges into his chest and he explodes with mana, this time a pillar of flames surrounding him and making the captains back up until it is dispersed to show Spirit Dive once again. "I was just getting started." Something in Licht then instantly snaps as he begins to output ungodly amounts of mana, freezing everyone as an aura of light spreads from him, and he mumbles that this cannot end this way. "What the hell is up with that guy?" asked Yami. Even we can't stop that, said Charlotte. Asta, however, facing this down, is about to swing when a crystal of sorts is summoned by the other enemies, which traps Licht in it, thus sealing his magic. Yeah, this is enough. We're just getting nowhere, said Raya. Rest. You've done enough. And we need to fix up your leg, Veto. Yeah, you're right. Looking to the Magic Knights, they say they will meet again and slowly fall into a portal, taking their underlings with them as well. You're not gonna stop us? Asked Veto. We still need to know why you're doing this, said Asta. So I'll watch you. What an arrogant nobleman, said Fauna. As they leave, Asta would say, I'm not a noble. Maybe then exits his body and Asta falls down, crossing his legs. Whew, that was fun. Fernald then runs to him, asking if he's okay, and Asta would nod, with Liebe saying, they have their eyes on you now, so you need to get stronger. We can do that tomorrow. Honestly, every muscle in my body is screaming in pain. How exhilarating. I didn't know you had a kink, said Yami. I didn't mean it like that. You don't need to explain yourself to me. I respect your choice. Captain! We didn't even get a piece of the action. Stop fooling around. You owe me one. Asta, was it? Asked Jack. Asta would nod, and Jack says that he'll cut his magic next time, so he better be ready. And Nozel says that they have to have some class, but Charlotte out of them is the only one who just tells Asta he did a good job, and then she starts walking off. You got that woman to compliment you? Not bad. She always runs off when she's around me, said Yami. After this passes, the children are of course taken back home and luckily are okay. Asta took back his kimono and rests before being summoned back to the capital castle the day right after. He's accompanied by Marks, who welcomes him as they take steps down to the underground level. I apologize that we need to bother you after everything you've been through. I don't mind, I healed my injuries. This better be worthwhile, said Liebe. Oh, it is, said Marks. As they reach a door, it is open to reveal a containment cell, where those Asta and Yuno have captured respectively are present, and Julius stands between them as he turns with a smile upon Asta's appearance. I heard of your good work, Asta. Spirit dive, huh? As his eyes shine, he approaches Asta, asking him tons of questions. How did it look? I heard you were able to seamlessly erase magic, and that breathing thing you do, did it evolve or something? Can I tell you that after I do what I was called to? Oh, right. He regains composure, clearing his throat and explaining that they need him to just erase a spell that's keeping Marks from accessing these prisoners' memories. Crap, this is bad. That guy's magic burns away other magic. Wait, what? What's gonna happen to us? Asked the witch. As he approaches the two, Asta will then hold his hand over them, forming a flaming halo as he activates the Gamma Wipe spell, revealing and burning away their protection magic. This instantly puts them under Marks' spell, with him now getting serious. And Julius would say, I'm gonna have to ask you just a few questions. With dead eyes, they say nothing, but clearly we're now more cooperative. Thus, Julius has Marks call down all the captains who, as they gather once again, meet Asta and have different mix of emotions regarding him, but they were here for the truth right now. No need to be petty or try to recruit him. Well, this may hurt me to ask, what is the name of the captain who betrayed us and helped you? Asked Julius. Upon this question being posed, with nervous sweat, Geldor watches and listens as his name is called. The captain of the Purple Orchis, Geldor Poises, said the prisoners. As all eyes turn to him, he panics. Wait, you're seriously believing them? I have heard a myriad of rumors about you as of lately, said Charlotte. So you were doing something sketchy, huh? Said Jack. The rules of my magic are absolute, sir. So if you wish to prove yourself innocent, all you need to do is to let me read your mind, said Marks. Looking around and seeing no options, the captain would activate his magic. I'm innocent, okay? I just need to retreat for now. He turns transparent, thus invisible, and begins to run towards the door while staying untrackable, with invisible forces hitting the captains who retaliate. But while they do, Asta would clearly sense the invisible troops made by Geldor, and even one heads for him, making him hold a tiger sign now as Liebe forms, and they would both say, Sun Spirit Magic, setting Sun Transformation. Taking his magic to the next level, Asta would create 3D clusters that surround the room before they turn it into mini suns and shoot chains of flames that instantly wrap around the invisible enemies, all of them turning them visible again before shattering them, and Geldor specifically is held up in the air. To me, you're as visible as usual, Sir Geldor, said Asta. Thanks for that. As he hears Julius, Asta would turn, seeing the captain's about to explode and take down the building with them. As the Wizard King remarks, he can't really control his output. "These guys are insane," said Libe. "I told you." That's just rude, come on." "Well, it's true." Running away so pitifully. "And you still consider yourself a man?" asked Charlotte. "Shut up. I don't want to hear your opinion. I want to hear your opinion the least," yells Gildor. Rail then approaches Asta at that moment, saying, "That was really cool. Listen, Asta, be my friend, okay?" Sure." "Yay! It's hard to tiptoe around everyone since they're much older than me anyway. And they're kind of weird." "Oh yeah, they're weird," said Libe. "No, I mean, they are weird. You're not wrong about that." "I can hear that, you bastard. And you're the weirdo," says Yami. As captains and Julius power down, however, they would then approach Gildor, as his army is, of course, now rendered useless, and Julius says they need to talk. Then and there, all his crimes were exposed, and he tasked the captains to once again check their own members for signs of betrayal. He also planned to expose this to the public, as they of course deserve to know. Then he calls Asta and Yami to his office and gives them a mission. After the little meeting, we then see Asta and Yami walking and heading home. "I don't think I've ever seen you so dedicated before, Captain." "The hell's that supposed to mean?" "Whatever. On the other hand, I chose you because you were crazier enough, so deal with it. I'm gonna need you to give your all even more." "More than usual? It's a high level of trust. Don't patronize me." "I'm not patronizing." "Yes, sir." They would then head off, and we cut to black. Opening up on a new scene, the Black Bulls burst out onto the beach. Hell yeah! Beach day! The town of Reiki is taken off guard by these new people. They're loud, or really wild, and some of them are so beautiful it blinds them. "Oh, he looks so hot. Oh my god, look at his long hair." An oblivious Asta then turns, hearing this, and would wave, making these women turn red as they run off. "God damn it, teach me how you do that," asked Fernal, as Asta would turn to face him. "How can I do that, though?" "Damn it! Fernal-senpai, this isn't a good look. Stop doing that." He tries to calm him down because he's kind of like deteriorating right now. Like he feels like he ain't got no raise. He don't. This is when Asta would hear Noelle and turns to see her in a swimsuit. "Do you think this looks good?" "Of course it does." She then turns tomato red, just as from behind she's hit by sand and turns, firing magic at Luck, who had done this, only for magic to curve and hit Magna. "Hey, what did I do?" Clearly they're having lots of fun. Vanessa is just chilling though, under an umbrella. Charming is being charming and playing with food. Gray disguises herself as other people constantly. Gordon isn't good with sunlight, however, so he stayed home, and Gush is doing what he always does, leering at a picture of Marie in his little corner. However, pretty quick, Yami shows up and then quite literally buries them up to their neck in sand. "I'm sorry, Captain. I failed you." "Asta, why do you look so down all of a sudden?" yells Magna. It's just like, it's a little bit of a joke, you know? Captain's always like this. Looking quite serious, however, Asta said that he's promised to work harder from now on. "I don't deserve to be Wizard King if I can't even reel in my own comrades." So sad. "I give you a cookie, but I literally can't," said Charmy. Now they feel kinda bad, but Vanessa says it's okay to have a little fun every once in a while. You don't want to overwork yourself. "Yes, but my goal is to make the Black Bulls the strongest. I'm allowed to think that, right?" "Well, if it's you, then it's definitely possible," Magna thought. "Asta brought me out of a dark place, so I guess now I have to repay the favor," thought Luck. "Maybe I've been a little bit inconsiderate. I think this is the first time I ever cared about something other than Marie," Ghost thought. "Yeah, the Black Bulls will be the strongest. Sorry if we don't care. I'm gonna beat a bunch of people, as many as I can." "How lowly do you think of us anyway?" said Noelle. This brings a smile to Asta's face, with Yami then saying, "Now that you're so motivated, I'm gonna need you to surpass your limits and get us down there with your magic, Noelle. It's at the bottom of the sea. Only your magic will be effective anyway." Though nervous, Noelle also realizes that she will have to help and nods, saying, "Got it." And so her training begins, and everyone would indeed pitch in to help her control her mana to a higher degree. Asta and Noelle even meet a certain girl on a particular night, which will be explored later on. But the fated day finally comes for her to show the results of her training. All the Black Bulls gather at the beach with Noelle before them as she bursts with mana, gathering water that would surround her violently. "Come on, Noelle, you can do this." The concentrated ball of water begins to go haywire, however, as tendrils release from it, beginning to swing violently, much reminiscent to the first time she lost control when the Black Bulls truly acknowledged her, but Asta does not grab his blade. He and everyone just put all their energy into cheering her on until she regains control with some grit and makes her spell face itself. Water magic, Sea Dragon's Cradle. It turns into a beautiful revolving sphere as she is no longer drowning, now being in a space big enough to fit her and her friends. I did it! Hell yeah, that was so manly! She's a girl, dummy, says Luck. Whatever, it's still manly. At this moment, however, the spear would pop, but as she falls, Asta catches her, drenching he and everyone with water. As they laugh, but he says, "Never doubted you for a second." See? That's not fair, she thought, with her turning away with a blushing face, and he would ask, "Are you okay?" "Yes, stop asking. Put me down." That's classic Noelle, Asta thought. The next day, she would then use the same magic to take them down into the sea, and they find themselves surrounded by sea life. And as they sink, the excited Charmy is so hungry that she tries to dive out to get these fish, when she's then grabbed by Asta. "Senpai, not right now." Right, sorry, focus. Man, this is so amazing. Can we just say that? I've never seen some of this stuff. Yeah, look, that fish is literally shining over there. Noticing how almost like every animal here is mutated only makes this more fun. Just then, however, they come across the phenomena mentioned by Yami earlier. A wall of whirlpools blocked their path, but Asta would grab his sword out of his grimoire. "I guess it's my turn." "Wait, how are you gonna use sun magic under the sea?" Without a word, Asta would pull back his blade, and the water around them starts to bubble, this being outside, of course, the Sea Dragon's Cradle spell, and a little sun converges and forms before them, before it fires a hypersonic attack that hits and unravels the whirlpools with so much force that Noelle's cradle is violently pulled in, and she would manage to keep the sphere's structure intact until they are spewed out onto the other end. "Would you warn me before you do that? Just a little bit, okay?" said Noelle. "Sorry. I didn't even use spirit magic." "Well, I guess that's Asta for you." Look at this place, though. The Sea Dragon's Cradle is slowly dropped and dispelled, and they walk around and behind the reef, blocking their sight, and once high enough, they would see the temple and its inhabitants down below. Just then, Yami would pat Noelle on the head. "Good shit. Keep up the good work," he said with a smile, which is kind of rare. He complimented me? He really complimented me? Her spirit is instantly risen from this, and she feels quite motivated. The Black Bulls then make their way past the reef and make their way down, with the denizens of the sea rallying to them. Wow, people from the surface? And they're magic nice too. This is awesome. That one looks like his face is shining? "Oh, that's enough. What the hell's your boss?" asked Yami. While he gives off a dangerous aura, however, another denizen matches this, saying, "You mean the High Priest? Address him properly." "Oh, stop that. Stop playing around. The High Priest sleeps in that tower," said a woman. "Alright, Captain, come on," said Asta, but then pushing him away, as Yami would say to stop being weird. "I'm afraid if I don't act weird, you might start a war." "True. Yeah, I believe it." "Boss is super imposing," said Luck. "Whatever," Yami said. They would then make their way up a flight of stairs, and when they reach the door, it opens by itself. Nothing else, nothing moves it, except for, of course, magic. Regardless, they enter, but keep on alert. However, Noelle would look around, where her eyes trail off to see two beady lights. These lights then turn out to be eyes of a beady creature, and she screams as this monster lunges from behind, but in a flash, Magna, Luck, and Gauche in a combo attack destroy it to pieces, and it would fall before them. Oh ho ho ho! The voice of an old man is heard, with everyone seeing a silhouette far ahead deep into the cave, and as this man walks forward, it turns out to be the priest, who says, "I've got some interesting guests, don't I? Hello to you all. I am the High Priest." The body of the beast that begins to fade away, making it clear that this is probably his magic, and he also says he knows what they're here for, and this leads to him suggesting a fight, which the Black Bulls only accept because they get food, women, and so on. Asta just wants to train, so he says why not. From behind him, the walls of the cave would shift to create tunnels out of which his priests leap out of and land before him and beside him, staring everyone down. "What the? Fish masks? What's the point of hiding their faces?" said Magna. "Whatever, we're gonna win anyway. These guys aren't as tough as I thought they'd be." And yes, they seem arrogant to a fault. The hell you say? Okay, now we need to crush you bastards. As things rile up, however, a slight flash is released as the mana of the priest rips out the ground beneath them, and he laughs, saying, "Please handle this at your own leisure in battle." Meanwhile, he and Yami would appear in a different room where monitors are shown, and each of the Black Bulls individually as they move out is seen by them as they move about in the labyrinth they had just been dropped in. "Why the hell am I here, you old geezer?" "Huh?" asked Yami. "Oh, come on. You really think I let you participate?" No. We have much more important issues at hand. As Yami listens eyebrow to this, moments later the captain will be laughing as he chugs down booze and slams down his cup. "You're not bad. You really have a good eye." "Of course. Now, what do you think of the potential results?" As Asta meets his first opponent, it would be a priest with a, let's say, like a octopus. Yeah, an octopus mask staring him down, but not out of arrogance, but of caution. As he now truly stood in the same place as Asta, alone, he realized, this kid's mana is insane. One wrong move, and I lose. No, die. Holding his hand out, Asta would then summon his blade, which was now permanently changed, and he admired it, saying that he had no idea that it would be able to change this way, and on his shoulder would then appear Libe, sitting cross-legged. "When you grow, I grow too, by the way." "Wow, you look older." Libe now has grown a little bit taller, though still small compared to humans, and his kimono has changed to one meant for battle with shoulder pads and his own sword at his side. Think of it like him wearing the same fit as Madara, but more flashy and still kind of like, historical. You know what I'm saying, right? I could draw it, but I don't have time right now. "Is that a spirit?" asked the priest. "Oh yeah, sorry, we're gonna have a fight. I'm sorry for being so disrespectful." He gets in a fighting stance and says, "I'm Asta from Hodge, a commoner." In a flash, he disappears, appearing behind the priest, whose mask is cut in two as a skin mark. Like, his body is dug into by heat. This is going to happen a lot. When Asta holds back, right, he doesn't want to kill someone, he will hit you so hard that a mark of heat, will be burnt into your skin. And this causes the man to be slammed into a wall, as Asta would then bow to him and take a turn, entering another tunnel and running off. "Thank you for the match." In a flash, all his senpais do the same thing with their matches, winning their first fight with ease, as well as leaving the priest completely shocked, and he was told by Yami that they were all intermediate knights, well, except for Asta. But a spirit? The spirit of the sun as well? How is that even possible? "How'd you know it was the spirit of the sun?" said Yami. "My eye knows all, Yami. And that boy? I should have taken him out as well. Why did you keep that hidden?" "No take-backs, geezer." "Whatever." As he traverses the labyrinth, meanwhile, Asta is seen leaping through a rocky tunnel as a giant sea serpent lunges at him. Libe also takes out his blade, matching Asta's movements, intensifying his host's power and making them far more potent. And Asta in a flash appears behind the snake and would land as it is split by a compressed flame trail before bursting to pieces. Then Asta runs forward, being happy he can sense his power this much without hurting anyone, and he enters a new room to see a swordfish priest. The priest had a swordfish mask on, and he would stand atop the corpse of a fading sea monster. "Hey, hi there, you're Asta, right?" "Yes, that's me. Do we know each other?" Jumping down, the man would then damn, I ain't hydrated enough today. Jumping down, the man says that he heard of his name in passing, and Asta thinks before saying, "Oh, you must be related to Kahono somehow. Maybe brother and sister? Your mana is very like to hers." He figured that all out with just mana? Whoa, she wasn't over-exaggerating, Kyoto thought. "I guess we got found out. Name's Kyoto, and honestly, I plan to defeat you. You see, if I do, me and Kahono can be allowed to go to the surface for once." "Wait, you've never been to the surface?" "Nope, never in our lives. Well, Kahono snuck out recently." "That's so sad," said Asta, with him now bursting with actual tears, and this freaks out Kyoto, who says he's sorry for making him cry. "But I don't want you to hold back, okay? I want to earn my dream." "Even though I'm pretty sure I'm about to get destroyed," he mumbled. "Oh, stop being so weird," said Libe. "Give the fool what he wants." Wiping his tears at this point, Asta would then point his blade forward. "I'm sorry, but I also have to win, for the sake of my friends." In a burst, Kyoto would then attack with a dance-like spin as he strikes down, but he and Libe Asta and Liebe do the same movement, blocking his strike and shoving him off as they then thrust, sending Kyoto flying as he slams into a wall, which cracks with the pressure and heat of the sun, leaving behind an imprint, like behind him on the rock. Kyoto's eyes begin to go blank as he falls forward, thinking, one strike, that's all it took? I can't even move. Is my mana being drained? What is he? As he falls, however, Asta catches him, feeling sorry for getting in the way of someone's dream. I guess I do the same thing when I'm trying to become Wizard King. Sorry. In that instant, however, that room bursts with an explosion as Asta would turn to see, and he's enveloped by it, with Yami practically leaping out of his seat. Kid, what the hell is going on? This mana, said the priest. You've made powerful enemies, haven't you? And Yami would then look at him at this point, realizing it's them. Is Asta okay? Of course he is. What is the plan of the Midnight Sun? It's not gonna fucking work. Find out in the next part of Black Clover. Hope y'all enjoyed this. Peace. I'm gone.
Take me back to a place where I felt at home. Take me back to a day when we weren't alone. Take me back to an age when the world felt small. Way back before we blew it